Hey guys, so today we are going to be breaking down Zenkai Red Janemba, as well as we got the unique equipment for LF Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku, so we'll take a look at that after this. But let's start with Red Janemba here. Now, before we even start, I mean, this guy being red is very bad. The best character in the game right now by far is Blue. And if a character like Ultra Vegito Blue struggles against that character, then it's going to be tough for this guy to find a place. But we'll see. Maybe he has some interesting things here. All right, so stat-wise, we got to take away 13,000 because of the arts boost. So he's going to be at 272,000 strike. That's not the greatest. That's pretty low. 272 to main offense. Yeah, that's not great. For a Zenkai unit, not at all. And then his blast is 240. No, yeah, 247. Defensively, he's going to be looking pretty good, though. I mean, he's going to be at 188,000 to both. That's good. I'll take that. All right, so strike is normal, blast is normal. The blue card is Rakasha's Claw. Deals massive slice damage. 40% enemy sustained damage cut effects for 3 counts. That is new. He did not have that before. And then 100% chance to inflict heavy bleed on hit. The green card is Imprisonment Fist. This guy's green card was always pretty damn good. So counter will activate upon enemy's tap shot or blast arts attack while this character is charging forward. This guy can actually counter tap attacks, tap blasts. So it's kind of similar to Vegito Blue's green card. Restores ki by 20. That's new. That wasn't on there before. 75% to the next strike or special move arts damage inflicted. Cannot be stacked. That's the same. And then immobilize the enemy, of course, and then destroys all of your enemy's cards. So previously, this guy only destroyed all of your enemy's cards if the enemy was in sagas from the movies. Now it's just any enemy gets their full hand destroyed. Okay. I mean, this is already a good green card, so I don't really think I was expecting anything too crazy there, so that's fine. Getting 20 ki on hit is pretty good, because it means you can instantly follow it up with something. Main ability, we have Wicked Ambition here. So draws a green card next, which is what he did before. 20% HP, and then ki by 50. That's actually new. He didn't get any HP or ki on main ability. 40% to strike, or sorry, to damage inflicted for 45 counts. So prior to this, he got 35% strike damage for 30 counts. Now he's getting 40% damage for 45 counts. That's obviously a major improvement. It should have been uncancelable, though, because 45 counts is a while, right? I think there's a decent chance that like this gets removed before you realize the full 45 counts of potential of this, right? Minus 10 to own strike and blast arts cost for 45 counts. That goes up from 30 counts. Okay. Z ability. This is one of the weaknesses of this character, is he's only buffing strike attack. I mean, 38% is a decent number, obviously, for a Z ability. But again, in this day and age, when we're having characters get Zenkai Awakenings and they're mostly going to be utilized as bench characters, it's immensely preferred if they are buffing 2 stats with their Z ability. So this character does not do that. He's going to be significantly weaker as a result as a bench character, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's red movies, right? Yeah. All right, let's take a look at these unique abilities. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Restores ki by 30, 40% damage for 15 counts. 30% damage to the next strike arts inflicted. That's new, I believe. Yeah, looks like it. Gradually restores health each timer count for 30 counts. And then applies the following effects to self every time this character uses a strike arts. Draws 1 new card. Activates once and then a reset. That's good. So this is basically filling the spot of card draw speed, right? So I'm actually assuming he's not going to get card draw speed. We'll see. We'll see. And then he gets 5 ki. That's strong. I mean, that's pretty good. I'll take that. All right, next we have Hope Crushing Evil Power. 30% damage inflicted against movies or Saiyan. So the Saiyan is new. That was not on here before. And then reduces damage received from movies or Saiyan by 20%. That's good. Does he have... He doesn't get reduced damage received anywhere here. Okay. So... they added Saiyan to the same line. Okay, so it's not like he's going to get additional damage if they're on both movies and Saiyan. Okay. Falling effects occur every time enemy uses a special move or a special arts card while this character is in the battlefield. So this only used to apply to the enemy using greens. Now it's greens and blues. He draws a green card next, activates once, 20% special, 20% to damage inflicted for 15 counts. So that drawing of the green card is new. Reducing enemy key by 30, that's the same. Seals enemies strike arts for 3 counts, that's new. That wasn't on there before. Okay. Next we have Dominant Terror. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. 90% damage inflicted, and then reduces damage received by 50%. Damn, that's pretty good. Okay, so hold on. He enters the battlefield. He's getting 40% damage. And then an extra 30% to movies and Saiyans. Let's just assume you're fighting like a movie character. That's basically 70% damage. He's getting 90 here. It's 160. Plus, he's getting 30% to the next strike arts damage inflicted. 50% reduced damage received. He's taking 20% less from Saiyan and movies. Plus, his defensive numbers in terms of his stats look really high. Again, 188,000 to both. Following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield, restores on health by 5%, increases card. He does have card draw speed for 15 counts. Remember, he's also drawing a card here when he uses a strike card. And then inflicts all enemies with 3 substitution counts. Activates once. That's like the God Topo mechanic, right? This is interesting. Now, it's not 2022 anymore where you can just like enter the battlefield with this and then rush a character, because we have so many characters that reduce their sub count in some way when the enemy activates a rising rush, or the character that switched in reduces ally sub count or whatever it is. There's a lot of sub count manipulation associated with the enemy using rising rushes. So you can't just switch into this character and then immediately go for a rush and then expect that the character that's currently switched in is going to get rushed, because it's just not going to happen most of the time. But that is a powerful ability, right? For example, you could like lock somebody in by switching into the Janemba and then like chain in the green card immobilization effect and then rush. The problem with this green card now, though, is that we have a lot of characters that are immune to getting affected by immobilization effects, so that might also be a problem. But in theory, it should work pretty well. All right, let's check the final unique ability here. The following effects occur when this character performs a vanishing step. More card draw speed. So he's going to get double card draw speed there. Plus, he's drawing a card when he uses a strike. Reduces enemy key by 20. Following effects occur when enemy performs a vanishing step while this character is on the battlefield. Draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. And then plus 10 to special move arts cost. And then inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade minus 40% to key recovery. How do I evaluate this character? I mean, here's the thing, right? I think if this guy releases, like if let's just say hypothetically, Ultra Super Janemba does not exist. This guy releases the exact same way he is right now. I feel like this guy actually could be pretty good. He looks pretty good to me. He's drawing a lot of cards. He's got pretty good offenses. He's got, what appears to be decent defenses. He has tech with the green card. The blue card should be hitting pretty hard as well. I mean, he looks pretty solid. It's just, I don't know how usable he's going to be when we have this ridiculous blue character floating around that's really hard to even do anything to. So we'll see. He seems good on paper here, but not a great meta environment for him right now, I don't think. All right, let's check out the equipment here. Let's go to the archive. So we have this. What is this? The new equip. This is probably the new PvP equip. Regen, powerful opponent. Strike defense 16%, strike attack 18%, strike attack 20%. So 16% to strike defense and then 38% to strike attack. It's pretty basic. I would not say this is that crazy, which is fine. I mean, this is what we've basically come to expect from like these normal, unawakened, non-unique equipments now. It's just like they're very basic in what they're giving. But then like we have like this, which is like crazy. I don't know. I feel like when you compare this to this, like, this is clearly just way better. So I don't know. All right, let's take a look here. Where is this Dragon Fist equip? Here we go. Let's take a look. What do we have here? This is the first LF unique equipment that we have gotten since this came out. So let's go ahead and see what they've done for Dragon Fist. Of course, this is going to be specifically for Legends Limited Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist Goku that released during the 4th anniversary. Slot 1. Looks like they went with a blanket 35% base stat spread across the board here. That's fine. Okay, slot 2. 15% to HP. That's good. Health restoration, 15%. Remember that this character does heal every time he uses a strike or a blast. I think it's 3%. Let me actually just quickly double check what that is. I believe it's 3%. It's not like super ridiculous, but yeah, it's pretty, like, a healing 3% every time you use it. Like, that could definitely stack up after a while. Yeah, applies the following effects to self every time this character uses a strike or a blast card. It restores health by 3%. That's pretty good. So obviously that health restoration is going to affect that. Then we have 10% to strike and blast defense while there are 3 episode sagas from the movies or Sun family battle members remaining. All right, I'm already going to make a criticism here. This should have been, I mean, people might say this is overboard, but I mean, this is what he needs. This should have been 10% to strike and blast defense per movies battle member or Sun family battle member on the team, or battle members, right? That's what it should have been. He should have been able to get 30% to pure strike and blast defense from this slot. Straight up, I think. I mean, it's not a bad slot too. Something else they could have done, I guess, is to make that 10% not just defense, but offense in addition to defense. That would have been good. All right, slot 3. Here's where things are supposed to be good. 30% damage inflicted. That's pretty good. I was kind of hoping for 40%. Like, I was talking about LF Bardock's equip yesterday. We could take a look at LF Bardock's equip here. Bardock got 40% in slot 2 here. So I was kind of hoping we'd get the same number, but, you know, I'll take 30%. It could have been worse. Minus 10 to Blaster's cost, that's fine. 50% to own unique gauge charge rate. 50% to own unique gauge charge rate. So that means I don't think that's good enough. Huh. I mean, this is actually something that I suggested yesterday. I'm like, they could just give him part of his unique gauge charged up before the battle start, or when the battle begins, right? Like how they did with LF Cell's unique gauge. So LF Cell's unique equipment gives him 35% of his unique gauge filled up at the beginning of the fight. So he doesn't have to go through the whole gauge. He just only has to go through 65% of it. This guy's getting 50% charge rate. So that means that each strike and blast that he uses is going to charge the unique gauge at 1.5 times the rate that it normally would. This should have been this should have been 100%, because it should have been 2 times. Yeah, I think this should have been 100% unique gauge charge rate. And in reality, I think that 50% here is probably fine. But we are getting characters. I mean, the main tool this character has to enable him to actually get his unique gauge filled up is cover nullification. But we are now getting characters that do not care about cover nullification. Now, clearly this character is going to have type advantage over Janemba. But what if you start a combo with this character, the enemy goes to Janemba, and then you only have strikes? Like, you just can't fill up your gauge. You just can't do it. So I actually think that even though this character is going to have type advantage over Janemba, there are going to be instances where, like, you just can't get the gauge filled up because Janemba is limiting your ability to use cards. I mean, this is definitely something that we're going to have to test out. This is not something where I can just look at it and be like, yeah, this is good enough, or yeah, this is not good enough. We'll have to feel how this actually feels to use in game, or experience how this feels to use in game. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to really give an informed opinion on this. But upon initial glance, I would say that this is probably just not good enough. It would have been nice if it was like 75%. You know what this should have been? This should have been slot the second roll. So like it goes 10%, 20%. This in addition to 20% here, the 50% charge should have been in the second roll, and then this third roll should have been 75%, I think. Honestly, I would have loved for it to have been 100%, just to make, because basically if this is 100%, what that means is that his gauge is essentially starting at 50% filled up already, is what that means. I don't think that's crazy. I would have liked to have seen this have been a higher rate. 75% would have been good. And then 30% to special move damage once unique gauge is full. That could be good, because remember, when the unique gauge is full, he locks in on green card, which can be good, right? I mean, the only problem with that is, like, if you're locking in Janemba with the blue card, he doesn't care because he can just counter, right? Okay. I mean, this is definitely a good equip, right? He's getting a bunch of base stats there. He's getting decent health restoration, some pure defenses. 30% attack is pretty good. The minus blast cost, I think, is actually pretty good as well. The unique gauge charge rate is the most important thing on here, but I don't think it's high enough. Blue card is, sure, it's fine. The blue card damage. Do I think this is enough to propel him to, like, the main green character you're going to be using for movies? I mean, this guy's lucky that green is like the worst typing in the game by far. I would say that Orange Pickle is probably just a better pick. I mean, you put this guy in your team, and this is going to go for, well, I guess it's just for movies, great, because Sun Family doesn't really have a good revive right now. Unless I'm forgetting someone. But, like, you put this guy on the movies team, and Vegito Blue rushes, and, like, what do? Who do you go to, right? Orange Piccolo with the revive, plus the support, the heal. Like, Orange Piccolo is just providing a lot more to the team. Now, of course, this guy's going to be better offensively than Orange Piccolo. That's, like, not even remotely a question. My concern, or I guess what I'm interested in seeing, is going to be how well does this guy tank post this equip coming out. He's definitely going to have more HP, but it's not like he's getting ridiculously crazy defensive abilities here. He's getting decent, base defenses, and he's getting the pure defenses too, but I don't know if this guy's going to come in and then all of a sudden be a tank god. Like, he's probably, in all reality, he's probably still going to get mollywopped by Janemba, even though he has type disadvantage. But we'll see. I think this 30% damage here is probably enough to where his Dragon Fist probably will just one-shot everything, I think, with the drop combo tech. We'll see, though. I don't want to write this guy off completely because, again, this 50% unique gauge charge rate is going to be something that we're going to have to test out to see how impactful it is, because I can't really say right now. But my initial impression is that he could have used a little bit more, right? Make this charge rate 75%, and then make the defensive, the pure defenses, make it per battle member. So we can get 30% of pure defenses. Yeah, that's broken, but guess what? He needs that. All right, we should have any Awakened equipment as well. Yeah, because the rush is resetting this week. So this is this is only for Janemba. Okay. So you have Blast Defense and HP Restoration, 13%. Strike Attack and then Strike Defense, 18%. And then 12% damage to sagas from the movies. So whenever you have an equip like this, where it's damage to a specific tag, it is just a very, very meta-dependent equipment, right? So if movies isn't really a tag you run into that often, you're obviously not going to use this. But if movies, like if you're running into, honestly, even regen right now, because regen, basically, you have to run Janemba and you have to run Orange Piccolo, basically, right? So you're 2 out of the 3 characters you're fighting when you're running up against regen, which in my experience has been the most popular team to encounter. That's also a highly, a team that's highly comprised of movies units. But other than that, I don't really run into like a pure movies team all that often. Vegito Blue is not a movie character. A lot of Future still flying around. Goku and Frieza, Universe Reps, Androids. At least Androids has the Gammas, I guess. But is this worth using right now? I'd probably honestly say no. Maybe there's going to be some movie drop during Legends Fest, which is highly likely considering how often they like to buff movies. But as it stands right now, I would say this is probably just not worth it. On Janemba, who has access to insane equipment for regen, you know, pure equipment. So I don't know. I'm not the hugest fan of this, but it is what it is. There we go. That is going to be this breakdown video. We covered the red Janemba Zenkai and we covered the Dragon Fist unique equipment. Let me know down below what you guys think of both of those things. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.